Hi there, it's Lee and Belinda from Chateau Marais. So we're sat in our salon having a bit of a reminisce. We quite often do that, don't we?
Yeah.
Sitting in here with a fire. We're going to tell you a little bit more about our journey as to how we actually came to buy the lovely chateau we're sitting in today, which is Chateau Marais. And it's quite a long story, isn't it?
Yeah, so we split it over a number of
So
vlogs
we
in
have
case you
made
get bored.
we have made a vlog which you may or may not have seen about how we came to buy our first property in France, which was 13 years ago, and that is a very, very pretty converted stone-built barn in Lower Normandy, which we still own, and we would like to sell if anyone's interested, because we now live in France in the chateau. Lee and I, well, France is our second home. And
It's our first home now.
It was our second home. Sorry, this is our first home now, and it was our second home for 10 years or so. And we would typically be driving along a road in France, and Lee's eyes would swivel to the right or left, and I would say, "What are you looking at? What are you looking at?" Woom, 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 like this, and it would always be some beautiful French manor house or petit chateau or something like that. So he was always, from the very beginnings, very taken, I think, with the idea and the ambition of owning an important house in France.
Yeah, it's something I really wanted, but never thought in my wildest dreams we'd achieve.
Then, a few years back, a very pleasant opportunity presented itself to us in that we had the means. So the means came to us, shall we say, honestly, to invest. So we had some funds to invest into a project. And do you remember, Lee, how long and hard we thought about it? We talked, and we just couldn't decide what to do, basically, with the opportunity that presented itself.
Well, we had a number of ideas, and
opening a shop, a cafe, a restaurant, an art gallery. We're probably going to be doing all of those things now. Yeah, but we had so many ideas. But finally, we needed to coalesce those ideas into one.
So,
do you remember that weekend away?
I took Belinda for a long weekend away in a place called Stockbridge, which is a favourite place of ours in England.
Sorry, that's Misty there. She's got burrs in her fur.
Misty's always here, ever present. And we had a very nice, it was summer. There was a pub opposite the hotel we were staying in. We had a lovely beer garden, and we decided to have lunch out in the garden. And as a result of a bottle of vino.
It was Sauvignon Blanc, I seem to recall.
Sauvignon Blanc moment.
I think it was more than a bottle, actually. I've got to admit to that.
Well, I was very abstemious, you'd understand.
Of course, as always.
No drink for me.
No.
And we decided, I think it was on the fifth bottle. No. No, Lee,
we're going to have different recollections of this particular story.
Belinda's would be much more sophisticated.
It would be much
than mine.
more accurate, shall we say? But I just remember Lee said, "Right," he said, "we've got to make our minds up. What are we going to do with this money?" And I said to Lee, "What do you really want? Because there's no other way to call this. What other way is there to decide? What is it that you really want? What is your heart's desire?" And what did you answer?
I wanted a chateau.
There we are. And I said, "Let's do it.
Let's get one." And that was the start of it, really.
It was, and well,
what a nice problem to have. I mean, it was lovely, and we had a tremendous amount of fun later on going round various districts and regions in France, looking at various properties, as you do when you're looking at buying a place.
The story actually started in Normandy itself, because if you remember, Lee, there was a chateau in Normandy which so nearly became ours, and right at the very last minute, it wasn't ours. We couldn't buy it for various reasons, which we'll come on to. But the reason that we found that property in Normandy, we already had the house in Normandy, and I think it was the locality. And do you remember we saw a local property magazine?
Love Normandy. It's a lovely place.
And I remember seeing this particular chateau in 2 separate editions of a magazine, and thought, it's still for sale. I think we should go and have a look. So this was it still is, a beautiful chateau in a place called Jouy du Bois, which very romantically means playing in the woods, which I think is just a lovely name for a village. And this is in Lower Normandy. And the chateau, do you remember, Lee? Lee was very struck with
I loved it.
The moat particularly. I remember you loved the
drawbridge, lake.
Oh, do you
Lots
remember
of
the grand
grounds.
hall, the grand entrance hall?
Yeah.
Sadly, so the downsides though were, and we were going to buy it, it had no kitchen to speak of at all. And in fact, the accommodation had been converted in the 1960s. And I think it was 4 apartments.
4 apartments. It would have been needed knocking into one and try to make sure that all the
It was
original
lovely.
features
It was
were still there. And I think they were. And it had a checkered history because in the Second World War there was some aerial damage there because it was being used as the headquarters for the American army, I think it was, or the German army. It was the German army, and the Americans bombed it on their way through Normandy. Right. So the roof was all renewed, but it was absolutely full. The original date of the place was around about 18th century, so 1700s, and there was other additions made, and it had turrets on each of the corners of the moat and a boat in the moat. It was great.
I think my favourite feature was the attic, which was full, chock full of stuff. What I would have given to have bought it lock, stock and barrel and just spent days and weeks going through
months,
that stuff.
Years.
It was fascinating. I remember old Dolly's prams and
there was a couple of canoes up there.
Oh, it was
canoes in the attic.
fabulous.
Can you believe that?
This place was so nearly ours. I mean, the family, we were going to buy it. So the money was over in France. We did the money transfer.
We did the letter of offer that we were told.
Everything.
In draft. We submitted it in draft to make sure there was nothing that would be rejected at the last minute, which we were told.
And then
was
what
fine.
happened on the day of completion, so the final signing day in France, was one of the siblings, so this was 4 siblings, this is very common in France with inheritance law.
Yeah.
4 siblings owned it, they probably still do, and the daughter of the 3 brothers and a daughter, and the daughter said at the last minute, no, I'm not going to sign, I'm going to buy it myself. And that was it.
And under the rules,
we were finished.
Applying at the time, the family had first call on the sale. And the irony of it is when we actually bought Marais, on the day we signed the papers at Marais, the estate agent we were dealing with for the original Chateau got on the phone and said, are you still interested because the sister cannot afford to buy it and it's got to go back on the market.
We did wonder whether we were used as do you call it a stalking horse to actually determine the market value.
So back in the day when we were looking at Jouet de Bois, we weren't doing vlogging or anything like that, but we did take some photos. So edited within this short vlog, there will be pictures of the original
and also some historical pictures which I found. So during the time that we thought we were going to buy the Chateau at Jouet de Bois, I actually did quite a lot of research into the village, into the resistance movement, and
there was strong resistance in that
part and the history of that time there, and the damage that was done as the Germans were fleeing and the Americans came in through that part of Lower Normandy.
I can't be sure about
I've got some good postcards and pictures.
The Germans had it as a headquarters. The Americans bombed it, routed the Germans, and then the Americans paid to repair the roof so that they could use it as their headquarters.
And that roof it was
immaculate.
Fabulous. The inside of it is absolutely
really nice.
Fabulous. Yeah. And when you think that was probably built in the late 1940s, repaired in the 40s, it's amazing. So very sad on the one hand. I'll never forget that day. We were absolutely heartbroken and crestfallen. But hindsight's a wonderful thing. We have moved on. The Chateau was considerably more money than the one that we bought, and actually wouldn't have left us anything much to do anything with it.
If we could have done.
I think it was a case of hearts ruling ahead with that one.
So it was all for the right reasons.
But that was Jouet de Bois. Hello.
Oh, hello.
There's Misty. Because I said hello, she thinks there's someone at the door. So that's our little story about how we nearly bought a chateau in Normandy, and we ended up not buying that chateau in Normandy. So the next film that we make, we are going to talk about our incredible journey, how we came to find the pretty chateau that we are sitting in now and that we love so much. So we hope you've enjoyed this little episode this is our French property odyssey story.
And Misty. Is that someone at the door, Misty?
Don't. She'll start barking again. There we are, Misty. Say hello. Oh, say hello. So in our next little film, we are going to, as we said, we're going to talk about
Talk some more.
talk some more about how we came to find Chateau Marais. But thank you for watching us. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a lovely sunny afternoon here, isn't it?
And what I would say is
mid-November, do you know? And it's really warm outside, and we've got a fire on inside.
we have got good photographic records of all of the properties that we went to visit as well. So the next film will have sequences of photo stills of the various properties.
How many of those chateaux are still for sale? So thanks for
Thanks
watching.
for watching.
Watch us again. Tell all your friends. Please like us. Please subscribe because it does help us. And I think you can press the like button if you liked it underneath. And we'll see you again ever so soon.
Bye.